Hey all, here are OS Reviews. In this video, we're taking a quick look at the AnkerWork S600. This is a smart Bluetooth speakerphone that can also be used for music and even wirelessly charging your phone using the new Qi2 standard. So it provides up to 15 watts charging wirelessly, and again, compared to traditional Qi 1.0, the 2.0 really just means you have that built-in magnetic functionality. So you can use it as a kickstand as well. And more importantly, as a speakerphone, the built-in microphones also claim to have AI noise cancellation. Anker claims that they've built in a unique AI-based chip that can focus only on your voice and block out any of the external sounds. In fact, there is some type of machine learning model that requires you to upload a few seconds snippet of you talking, and afterwards the speaker will analyze your voice and in the future know to only isolate your voice. They're calling this Voiceprint recognition technology, and it has this NPU neural processing unit chip inside. And for those conscious about security, Anker claims that the Voiceprint data is stored locally on the device itself. It's not being sent over the cloud via any servers, so everything is only on the speakerphone. Whether this is going to be significantly better compared to conventional noise cancellation technology, we'll have to see later on in our video. They also market some of their headphones and wireless buds under the Soundcore name that we've seen in the past, been pretty successful. This one here is under their AnkerWork line, since it's a little bit more geared towards business professionals, but again, still can be used for music playback as well. In the box here, we have just the speaker right on top, and this bottom compartment houses a standard USB Type-C cable as well as a power supply for charging it up. It actually has kind of an interesting texture to it. It can be folded down as well for easier transit, and it says Anker Nano USB Type-C wall charger 30 watts. And this thing is just super compact. It's cool that they're leveraging some of their other product lines, including charging tech, on the packaging and presentation here as well. We actually get two USB Type-C cables as well as a quick user guide. Quick look at the design of the speakerphone. We have a mesh covering for the drivers, again 360-degree sound in the shape of a cone. It's not too large, and on the very top here we have just the wireless charging component. So if your device doesn't support Qi 2, you can also pop on one of the third-party magnetic rings that are available for just $1 or $2 for any device to add that functionality. And this component can also fold upwards to unveil the 70-degree kickstand if you want to adjust the angle slightly higher or lower. So as we can see here, it actually provides a very tight fit. It doesn't feel loose at all and works quite well as a kickstand for consuming movies and videos, or if you're doing kind of a quick conference call. When it's connected in this way, it all feels quite robust. Otherwise, on the bottom here, we have just some capacitive keys for instantly muting the microphones, adjusting the volume, answering a call, as well as activating the AI noise cancellation mode. And the entire base here is constructed out of polycarbonate plastic, but still feels relatively good quality. And you can also find some of the microphones as well, scattered across the 4 regions of the base. On the bottom here, you also find a power key, as well as a connection key for Bluetooth. And there's also a USB Type-C data connection port, so you can use it as a wired speakerphone as well if you don't want to connect it via Bluetooth. Base here features just some soft touch rubber feet that prevents it from sliding around onto a surface or a desk. When you turn the speakerphone on, there's also an LED light ring on the base, as you can tell, that provides just a little bit more of a interesting touch. And all of the keys on the front are also backlit as well, making them a little easier to spot. And by the way, the wireless charging also works pretty much as advertised, so popping it on, you can see it will begin. And although it's not going to be as fast as wired charging for wireless Qi charging standards, I think it still is fair, and I would say overall around average. Most devices get topped up in around 1.5 hours to 2 hours or so, and the battery capacity inside the speakerphone can fully recharge most smartphones around 1 to 2 times. That being said, one potential feature I would like to see added in the future would be a way to stop the wireless charging. Right now, whenever you pop the phone on, it automatically starts that charging protocol. Because let's say you want to conserve the speakerphone's battery and only use it for communication, there's no way to not have it charge whenever it's being docked into place. But of course, if it reaches 100%, charging will stop, and you could always just plug it into the wall, and it acts as kind of a pass-through wireless charging pad in that mode. There's also one more key we forgot to mention earlier, which is a play and pause key that can also be double pressed to skip tracks forward and back. The mobile app called AnkerWork is compatible with both Android and iOS, and from here we're able to tap on plus to find the AnkerWork S600. We also see the presence of some occasional firmware updates which may improve the stability of the unit. Interestingly, during the installation process, looks like the ring has turned green as well. So it's a multicolored LED that can show different status information, including when you're charging it. It will also complete that circle. And afterwards, we have a prompt to set up our voice print recognition by creating a voice print. So we'll tap on Create and Accept, and it tells us to keep at least 50 centimeters away from the device when recording that snippet. The process is kind of similar to the hearing test customized EQ mode on some TWS wireless buds we've seen in the past. So let's tap on Start, giving it a second to first calibrate the environmental noise level. And now we can start. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the tranquil landscape. Birds chirped softly in the distance as a gentle breeze rustled through the leaves. The serene atmosphere was interrupted by the distant sound of laughter. A sense of contentment filled the air, inviting a moment of quiet appreciation for the beauty of nature's simple pleasures. As the day progressed, the shadows grew longer and the colors of the sky deepened. Evening approached steadily, bringing a gradual calmness to the surroundings. The trees swayed gently in the fading light, creating a soothing rhythm. Voice print recognition, we can now trigger this to turn this mode on, so in the future it will highlight my voice and block out external sounds. And back on the main home screen, we also have a quick setting to turn this function on or off. And when we exit the application, the app will still be running in the background. So we can now open up something like Google Meet or also try out Zoom. And those services will run using the speakerphone that it's being connected to. The only footnote I will point out is, again, the training only seems to work on one voice at a time. So if you're in kind of a business conference situation where you want to have 3 or 4 people talk into the speakerphone at once, that might be a limitation of this current model and technology. So again, this is more suited for individual use. And now we've started a meeting. You can tell that the microphone here is being picked up by the speakerphone, as the lights here also dance and flash depending on how loud we are talking. Down below, they're acting almost like a visualizer, and you can also see the green icon here representing that we are currently in a call, and again, the ambient noise reduction mode has been turned on. We can also turn it off if we just tap on that button there. Now the ANC as well as the voice print mode will basically be off, but we can also switch it back on, as well as mute everything. Now we'll turn red. I'm also going to try talking in slightly different directions while turning the speakerphone. Let's see what happens if I talk from it at a slightly different angle here onto the left. And now playing back the recording that we just made. Alright, so now this is a test of what the microphones sound like on the speakerphone with Voiceprint currently turned on. See if it continues to pick up my voice as I am rotating the speakerphone. Test, test, 1, 2. So overall, it seems to work decently in terms of volume and clarity of my voice, although with the noise cancellation, it still isn't going to be necessarily as crisp as when you have that turned off. You just get a little bit more detail, but of course, it does reduce a lot of the ambient noise in your environment. So the recording here has now started. Let's see how it fares. Placing the speaker here a little bit closer to some of the environmental chatter, but again, we still have the voice print mode turned on, as indicated there in green. Let's see what the recording result will be like. So the recording here has now started. Let's see how it fares. Placing the speaker a little bit closer to some of the environmental chatter, but again, we still have the voice print mode turned on, as indicated there in green. Let's see what the recording result will be like. One more test here, this time of just falling rain, some nature noises, and see how it fares. And now beginning the recording, again there's a little bit of nature sound around us. How does it fare? 1, 2, 3, test, test. Beginning the recording, again there's a little bit of nature sound around us. How does it fare? 1, 2, 3, test, test. So in this particular example, again, maybe if a window is still a little bit further away, not directly pressed against the microphone, which is probably a more fair test, it does seem to do a pretty good job. Everything is still easy to understand. And surprisingly, you do have a bit of bass there when it comes to impact of drum beats and lower frequency sounds. So in the music profile, it definitely is one of the best sounding speakerphones that I've tried out. Typically, speakerphones emphasize things like trebles and mids a little bit more for reproducing speech, but this one does seem to have a slightly larger, again, passive radiator for bass and impact. So quite good if you're just using it for watching movies as well as listening to music. It can serve that purpose quite well as just a normal Bluetooth speaker with above average sound. Good volume as well, doesn't really distort at higher levels, and can be quite enjoyable in the entertainment mode as well. That being said, there isn't really a dedicated profile switch or an EQ function in the app that we saw there to change things like further emphasizing the bass or turning it into a jazz mode or an R&B mode. There's not quite as many controls there. It really is just using the same overall tuning for both music as well as speech. So maybe that's one more function they could add as an adjustment in the settings of the app. Alright, so that is more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the AnkerWork S600 speakerphone. Gotta say, it is one of the more fully featured speakerphones with a very clean design. I like the fact that it has wireless charging support in addition to acting as a kickstand. And the Voiceprint technology, although there might be a little bit of marketing jargon and using buzzwords around it, but overall it is effective in terms of canceling out some of the environmental noises and does seem to isolate on only your sound. That training is a good idea to have available in the companion app. So it's a solid speakerphone overall that again just combines slightly above average sound quality for music playback as well as that wireless charging function into a pretty compact design. So you can check out more details if you are interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.